Social media has allowed some of the loudest voices to become influencers. These people, right or wrong, good or bad, influence other people. I've seen it in the erroneous arguments about race, I've seen it in politics, and now some of these influencers are attacking science. We're in a very dangerous time in our history, and it can be avoided if people used critical thinking. Not the influencers. I would expect them to use it. I do, however, expect the listener to use it. And that's my goal, to get people to apply critical thinking to what is being said. Let's play a game using critical thinking. In this game, like any game, we're going to set boundaries. These boundaries are going to determine whether the argument is good or bad using the actual words the influencers use. If their argument comports with the facts of reality, we will consider them a sound argument. If they do not, then their argument will be sent packing and labeled erroneous. The usages of words and the definitions are important. So in this game, we will take the words that they use and either qualify or disqualify what they are saying by seeing if their words comport with reality. Sound good? Well, let's play.
One of my habits now is ignoring all data.
If you notice how he's sitting, chest out, chin up, do you think he eats dinner like this or sits in a movie theater like this? He could. It's more likely what he's doing is performative. Studies show that people evaluate how someone looks when they say something. They evaluate the confidence that they show. They're more likely to believe what the person says if they say it confidently. That's the antithesis of what I suggest people do, which is evaluate what they say and not how they say it or who's saying it. But I wanted to point this out because he's using this performative act to portray confidence in the listeners that he knows what he's talking about. Now let's get to the important part, what he's actually saying. He starts off by saying, one of my habits is to ignore all data. Just to illustrate how dumb this is, let's look up the simple definition of what data is. Data is information such as facts and numbers used to analyze something or make decisions. Okay, that's the simple definition. He says he ignores all data. Do you think he would want a doctor that's treating him to do the same thing? He has a nice car in the background. Do you think he would want his accountant to ignore facts and numbers used to analyze something? Would you do that with your bank account? If you were looking to make a purchase, would you ignore the facts and numbers you would see when you log into your account in order to make a decision on a purchase? Of course you wouldn't. Only an idiot who's headed for bankruptcy would do something so stupid. This statement is painfully dumb, and it will not work in reality. We should disqualify this right now, but we will continue just to use the dumb things he says against him.
I love when people come to me and say, actually, we've got the data to prove. To prove what, you little
Well, it depends on the data. If doctors use the data for your test results and say, based on the facts, you have cancer, would you believe them? Even if you were to get a second or third opinion and they're saying the same thing, because the data is the same. Furthermore, they said based on the data, you have an excellent chance to survive if you go on this treatment. Do we think he would still stick to
ignoring all data? Anyone who actually analyzes the data nowadays proves they're a dumbass. Have you seen that graph thing, that meme where you have the most stupid people and the most intelligent people do the same thing? Then you have the midwit in the middle. Data is for midwits. Well, actually, I guess statistically, street smart people don't need data. We've just been around.
He ends it by saying, street smart people don't use data. We've just been around. Oh, God. Let's put the definition of data up again, and let's take out the word data and substitute the meaning of data and repackage what he says. Tell me how it sounds. Street smart people don't use information to make decisions. We've just been around. Or how about this? Street smart people don't use facts to make decisions. We've just been around. And lastly, street smart people don't use numbers to make decisions. We've just been around. Now, if he said it like that, you'd probably think this guy's an idiot. But he did say that, so let's move on.
Honestly, that is so relatable to me, I can't even explain it.
Of course, the stupid things he said are so relatable to Candace Owens.
And I've realized that I've been thinking deeply about this pagan cult that we exist in. It is backed by a false science deity.
She says it's backed by a false science deity. Let's look up the word deity, shall we? Okay, so a god or goddess. Is she equating science with a god or goddess? That would be dumb, but maybe she means another definition of deity. Is she saying that science has a divine status, quality, or nature? Or is she saying science is the creator or supreme being? She must be saying one of those things. Remember, we are just analyzing what she's saying and trying to see if it comports with the reality that we share. She's using these dumb words. I'm just analyzing them.
That is what it is. It is the science. Oh, this is the new God. And it is incredible to see the ways in which people worship this deity.
Science is the new God of some people, according to Candace Owens. Those are the words that she chose to use. Let's look up the definition of God. She's probably not referring to the Christian definition, so let's look at the other definition. A superhuman being or spirit, worshipped, a word she used, as having power over nature or human fortunes. That's what she said the cult of science is. Let's look up the actual definition of science to see if we can spot such words as worship or God, deity, or power over nature. Well, would you look at that? Apparently, science is the systematic study of the structure and behavior of the physical and natural world through observation, experimentation, and the testing of theories against the evidence obtained. There's no worshiping, there's no supernatural, there's no deity, just a systematic study of how the natural world works. I don't know if these two believe what they are saying. What I do know, however, when you actually break it down, it doesn't hold to reality. We need to do this more because critical thinking is a cure for the stupid some influencers are putting out.